Hello everyone, it's Kinetic. I'm going to do a quick cast of a PvP game. I'm just going to do it from one player's point of view. So this game is Pomi versus Titan. So we're just going to see how Pomi reacts to what he sees from his opponent, and basically see how we can improve our PvP by good scouting and just understanding what our opponent's doing. So I picked this game because it's pretty standard, I think, in the way the players build. So we see a 9 pylon from Pomi. That's very common. Basically every game, unless there's some kind of cheese going on, it's going to be 9 pylon. I'm just going to speed up this beginning part so that we can see what he builds and then when he scouts. So he did a chrono boost on his probes, now he's building a gateway on 12. And now he's going to go scout, so I'm going back down to faster speed now. So this is a 4-player map. I don't believe he knows where his opponent is, so he's just going cross map through the watchtower to see if he can see his opponent's scout, and then he'll scout this position to find his opponent. So you can see now he's gone gas. His gateway is almost finished. Okay, so now he gets into Titan's base. He sees a gateway finished. A core started. Gas is already up. Can get a good count on the probes. Basically sees that this is very standard play. Now we see him starting his own core. So basically they're doing exactly the same build. I do have the production tab up so we can actually see what both players are doing. You see it's basically identical. Both building a zealot, both building a core. And he doesn't see anything else yet that would make him think either robo or more gates. He does see a chrono boost on the core. That's just on warp gate, of course. You see he has not chrono boosted his warp gate yet, which probably indicates he's going to go for some type of robo build. Okay, so now his probe gets kicked out of the base, so now he doesn't know anything. He probably saw what this was, probably just a pylon. Could have been a robo though. So he starts his own robo. Gets a stalker out. There's really nothing he can do right now. His opponent's going to be able to hold his ramp, of course. So putting on pressure doesn't really help him. So we're just going to see what he does now. Again, getting one robo. It's very common in PvP to get that robo fast, pop out an immortal, and then immediately go into Colossus production just because they're so powerful against the gateway units. So really getting that robo tech up is kind of the common metagame right now in PvP. One gate robo especially very common. So you see he's actually going to get out an observer first to try to get a feel of what his opponent's doing. So this is a nice move. He can just get a better understanding of what's coming and know how to react to it before it's at his base. Again, we see him not chrono boosting his warp gate, so he's not going for a lot of warp gate units. He's obviously not going to throw down a pylon and try to do any kind of harassment that way. Okay, so now we see his opponent coming in with a lot of gateway units. So he force fields his ramp with a sentry that he just built, and then just kills off this pylon on the high ground to make sure that no warp-ins happen up here. He does lose a lot of probes in this engagement. Not too many, but a few. Overall, not too bad. And what this showed him was that his opponent's going more gateway heavy than he is. At least initially. So probably a 2-gate play. And then he does get his observer in. Does in fact see those 2 gateways. Sees the robo completed. So basically now knows exactly what his opponent's doing. Then just checks, make sure there's no expansion. Now he's completely aware of what's going on. So it's a 2-gate robo build. So in response, he throws down 2 more gateways himself and starts his robotics bay so he can start that Colossus production. He goes back in, sees his opponent's robotics bay, so he knows that Colossi are coming fairly quickly here.
Your probes are under attack.
His opponent, though, actually went, instead of Observer, went for a fast Warp Prism, and then did a nice harass, drop and warp in the back. So that's frustrating. Cost him again some more probes, but of course Blue's gonna lose some units in that as well. Yeah, so just loads the Stalkers back up and moves. So now we see a 4th gateway coming down for Pomi, and really just Colossus production from Titan. So both players getting out of Colossus, both players warping in more gateway units.
Your probes are under attack.
Yeah, you can see just kind of an attempt at scouting, seeing what's going on. All he sees is a Stalker, of course, so not very helpful. But he's going to move out anyway. Try and see if he can put on a little bit of pressure. Meets a few Stalkers on the way, probably those same 4 that just dropped.
Your probes are under attack.
So now we see another drop in the back. Some Immortals this time. So Immortals are very strong, obviously, against Colossi. So that's why that's a great drop. When you see the gateway units come out, you can attack here and kill this Colossus off, which is a huge amount of money. So that cost him a Colossus, and then did some damage to his probes as well. But his gateway units have just continued pushing across the map, just to kind of see what they'll find. Hopefully put on pressure, kill this expansion if it's here, but it's not here. They do make it up the ramp, thanks to a misplaced force field. Or perhaps that's where he wanted it. Maybe he just wanted sentries and zealots to get up. Does do some nice micro to save the Colossus. Yeah, so now he's lost his whole army. He's down in economy. So we'll see what he tries to do if he tries to get back into this. Basically, he just says GG, leaves the game. Alright, so that to me is kind of a common PvP. It always feels kind of funny when you lose like that. You don't really know what you can do better. In this case, knowing that these drops were coming and being ready for them would have helped a lot. So that Observer could have probably been in a more useful place than right here in the front of his base. If he would have had this around the back of his base, he could have seen those Warp Prisms coming. So that's one thing he could really do to improve. But other than that, it was a pretty good game, pretty fair game, I thought. Yeah, so it's great to see how that works from one player's perspective. And then I'm just going to go through again and do it from the other player's perspective to see if I can learn anything doing that.